80 years ago, Yueyang was plagued by biological warfare from Japanese invaders.
丢炸弹呢，流放结尾，眼睛就臭坏了。
熬一点那个茶叶水嘛，就给它洗，疼得很厉害的。
How can the scars of war ever heal?
没有必要告诉他，你们当军的，你过完了这下半辈子就美好了。
他能挺过来，是挺不容易的。
Only when we know about these atrocities can we ensure that these kinds of war crimes can never happen again.
I'm Jack. Join me with China Maltai China Insight in Yueyang to visit survivors of biological warfare. I'm Jack from the UK. I've been working and living in China for nearly 5 years, and I'm normally based in Harbin. Last year, I left my job at a tech giant and became an online content creator. My grandfather served in the RAF during World War II, and thankfully he survived. I'm therefore naturally interested in this history. And since last year, I've visited and made videos introducing several World War II related historical sites in China.
I'm here at the Unit 731 Museum in Harbin. It was truly the most terrific research you could imagine. This is Dongji Island, just off the coast of southeast China. This is a tale of Japanese brutality, of British will to live, and of Chinese heroics.
Drew widespread attention from both Chinese and overseas viewers. Today, I'm here in Yueyang in Hunan province. I've heard that this place and its people once suffered greatly from biological warfare, yet their story still remains largely unknown. My first stop was to visit Mr. Tang Huaiyuan, who is now 89 years old. Mr. Tang and his team of volunteers have been conducting extensive field research on the victims of biological warfare in the Yueyang area for more than 10 years since 2014, interviewing over 1,700 people.
你的第一个线索或者你第一站，你是先去采访了哪位，然后你是去哪里找到了一些线索？
第一次去找呢，是找的港口的一个村长，叫做明星村，大概是个2014年的4月10号左右。
哇，你的
10
记忆是
号左右，
非常清楚。
就采访了他们。我就讲你们那里死了那么多人，我就到你们那去看看。我说我就到你们那去看看。一直到那里呢，结果呢，我就采取什么方法呢？不是直接的问他们，有没有细菌战啊？他这个回答不出来呀。
对。
那个时候的人怎么知道呢？
可能都不知道是什么概念吧。
我就问你们这里是不是有得急性病的？是不是有烂手烂脚的？好了，这样一问，当时就有一个人出来了，把对的，他这个那个脚啊，就是烂了很多。
一下子给你看
了。伤疤出来了。当时有人拍摄，我倒是只是问，你看你这个病状啊，周围烂得很厉害，而且呢有核的粑粑，核粑粑，我觉得可能就是日本得的炭疽病。
The anthrax Mr. Tang described is caused by Bacillus anthracis. Those infected suffer from severe chills and festering wounds on their hands and feet, and the disease is incurable for life. This was one of the main bacteria produced by Japan's Unit 731 after repeated experimentation on living people. Around 1932, Shiro Ishii, a military physician in the Japanese army, began preparing to form a biological warfare unit, later named Unit 731. In 1936, the unit was officially designated the Epidemic Prevention and Water Purification Department of the Kwantung Army, headquartered in the Pingfang district of Harbin. Despite its name, it was actually a large-scale, top-secret biological research base using living people as experiments.
I can tell this is an old community, bustling with life all around me. Just behind me, around this area, is also the Susha Pagoda, a local landmark built in the Song dynasty. I've heard that one of the elderly residents here was a victim, but also a survivor of biological warfare in this area. I'd love to hear her story, and I'm extremely curious to pay her a visit. 谢谢。
9岁就失明了，整个房间里面全是靠摸物件的形状、大小、位置，以及它的材质，靠大脑记忆住的。
先坐一下。
坐，请坐。
哎呀，胖奶奶您好，可以。我给
他是从英国过来的。
对，我是英国人，我叫杰凯，对，周翔。
辛苦了。
我大概1.7米，然后我是棕色头发，然后皮肤白。
我姓彭呐，我要叫彭淑英。今年满96岁，29年的。
Grandma Peng is a native of Yueyang. She lives alone in a single-story house in an old neighborhood. Her nephew, Peng Zifeng, brings her meals and helps with daily care. Our production team first visited her in 2022 to talk about the Japanese invaders' comfort woman system that she was a victim and survivor of. But she also survived biological warfare too. 3 years have passed, yet I don't see much change in her. Still sharp of hearing and able to walk, only with a bit more grey hair.
那奶奶这个网纹是你自己自己想出来的吧？然后自己做了吗？
师傅当年的师傅教的。
师傅搞的。这个是冤枉过了身了，学辈是过了身了。凡事人好心，心里心思好了，安利贵人报，一军胜一军，许一年胜过一年了，也就明年比今年好，后年比明年好了，一年胜一军了，蛮好。
Known in the surrounding neighborhood as a fortune teller, Grandma Peng seldom tells anyone their fortune is bad. After she lost her eyesight at age 9, her father forced her to learn this as a means of livelihood. According to the Chronicle of Major Events in Yueyang, 1840 to 1949, on July 17, 1938, a Japanese aircraft first raided Yueyang, dropping 6 bombs and killing more than 60 people. On July the 21st, 18 Japanese aircraft raided again, killing more than 50 people and injuring more than 30, with 10 civilian residences and shops reduced to rubble. It was during this period that tragedy befell Grandma Peng's family.
当年您的眼睛是怎么变得受伤的？
日本在38年进来，我就9岁，那年2个7月嘞，我们第2个7月。就是在躲在这个郊区，懂吧？那有那个丢炸弹啦，真的耳朵都不听见。炸弹过身的有那个气味的，那里那么是节目解放后的流放气味，味道不好闻了，酒后就把吃下都发烧发冷了，再就眼睛就臭坏了，头疼啦，那个脑壳脖子抽筋啦。一热起来呢，你就几张被子脱掉了，那还是这么紧，还是忍不住冷，热起来的呢，要坐这个水底下就可以然后把脚搁到水底下，不是我一个人烧的，邻居的事，我们家里的事了，我家里是2个了，我就下眼睛，我姐姐病的，一个小弟弟呢，只有3岁的呢。也是发肿、发烧、发冷啦。小弟弟就是本身我的爸爸啦，3岁了。那还有个小弟弟是6年，妈妈死的有点那样，他也死掉了，小弟弟。
Based on investigations by local volunteers, the sulfur-like pungent gas that caused Grandma Peng's blindness was most likely mustard gas, a blistering agent that corrodes eyes, respiratory tracts and skin. In 1939, to meet the growing demands of expanding warfare, the Japanese invaders established Unit A1644, officially called the Central China Epidemic Prevention and Water Purification Department. Its headquarters was located in Nanjing Central Hospital. Compared with its sister units, Unit Ko 1855 and Unit Nami 8604, the Unit A1644 had more personnel and was second in scale only to Unit 731. It operated 15 branches and detachments, one of which was in Yueyang. In the post-war Khabarovsk trials, the notorious General Shunji Sato admitted that the Unit A1644 had participated in the mass production of lethal bacteria and directly worked on biological weapons against Chinese soldiers and civilians. Local volunteers have discovered another suspected survivor of biological warfare from around the same time that Grandma Peng was injured, who lives in Pinghu village near Shitown, Lingshan City, more than 60 kilometers from downtown Yueyang. He is an elderly man named Wang Jiafu.
那他记得是大概多长时间之后，他们发现他看不见了？
当时就不过去了，还过好久。
当时就很快。那是眼珠。
当时就不过去了不？
已经
那
个
烂掉了，看不见了。好厉害呀！你把口罩拿了，皮肉也不穿。也不是啥，
那个嘴巴也不能吃饭，嘴巴也不能吃饭，口水不能吞下去。他是有多少家人跟爷爷一样一起受伤了，受这个细菌战的影响？
我觉得这个用啊，他实际上就是我下过来，我一下出来的不。这牙就是那是全是湖北了，那个这湖北人我的我们滚嘛，
那个就是那是
一下我那人嘛，那个药一块钱我都没有，告诉署长了，要副市长了，要这种新闻的药我的要不要？没要的贵要，要了就好过日子，不要就扔。
哦，
这是厨房，
这是厨房，哎，这是那个厨房。
方便问一下，王爷爷现在是在做什么？可能是我没怎么见过这种火。
这是我们中国的一种那个习惯，就是烤火。天气现在在变冷。在这里烤火。
那平时王爷爷是在这边做饭，
对，
是吧？
做饭，对。因为他眼睛不看见。不能使用煤气啊、电磁炉那一块的不能使用，我就跟他起这个房之后，我就跟他考虑以前是什么样子，以前个生活习惯按照习惯来的，
就这样做饭，
就这样做饭的。在炒菜的就是把那个砖头，3个砖头炖起来，然后用这个锅放在上面，自己做自己炒，
是吧？学很久了嘛。
Wang Jinbo told me that when he was young, he often overheard elderly neighbors discussing how they were injured by poison gas. Their skin was severely ulcerated, his father could never fully straighten his arms again, and one of the old men suffered such severe skin lesions that his entire face wrinkled into a knot. Now all of those elders have passed away, only his father is still alive. For them, even until their final days, biological warfare was likely a strange, vague concept. They mostly believed that their injuries were simply a case of smallpox.
日军在中国进行细菌战的事情，您这边什么时候知道的
？20多岁的时候就才知道，不是看那个电影吗？才知道这个事情吗？像我老爸一样，那个时候一直他一直认为是他是得某种病这样子的。
那您觉得现在爷爷年纪这么大了，生活了这么久了，您觉得有必要告诉他吗？
我觉得没有必要告诉他了。
没有必要。
为什么呢？因为他年纪这么大了。如果说你告诉他这个是眼睛受热这个影响的话，怕影响这个正常的生活，我就不想告诉他。
也是有道理的。
对，因为90多岁了嘛，在我们做晚辈的嘛，只能就是说希望他，后面就20天就刚刚就好了。
I'm normally based in Harbin, and whilst living there last year, I visited the Japanese Unit 731 Memorial Hall and Museum with evidence of war crimes committed by Japanese forces in the area. At its peak, this centre employed up to as many as 3,500 Japanese staff carrying out research. This research was then put into practice by Japanese forces across multiple areas of China between the period of 1938 and 1945.
For instance, from 1940 to 1942, the Japanese unit A1644 led a series of biological warfare campaigns in Zhejiang, Changde, and along the Zhejiang-Jiangxi Railway. In places such as Ningbo, Jinhua, Chuzhou, Changde, Lishui, and Yiwu, they airdropped wheat, corn, and cotton scraps with plague-infected fleas, or contaminated wells and ponds with pathogens, releasing cholera, typhoid, and other deadly bacteria, killing countless people. According to statistics, the plague outbreak on Kaiming Street in Ningbo took 1,554 lives, with a mortality rate as high as 98.2%. In Changde alone, the number of recorded victims reached 7,643.
And Hunan was also a victim of biological warfare at this time. I've come today to Miluo, a city about 60 kilometers away from Yueyang, to learn about the biological warfare in this area and actually meet another survivor. 哎，你们好，你们好。谢谢，我叫 Jack， 杰凯，然后我怎么称呼你们？
我姓徐。
啊，姓徐。
你好。好。哎，请坐。
哎，好。哎，吴奶奶你好。
哦。哎，喊吴奶奶。
哦。
哎，吴奶奶你好。你好。我叫 Jack， 杰凯，我是一名英国人。
你好。
我看你们家很舒服的。那吴奶奶，我请问你今年是多大的
？86。
86。哦，86岁。
嗯。
是从小长大一直在米罗这边吗？
我在农村里长大的，我的岳的弟弟刚好在东头那里。
奶奶是现在的身体的状态都怎么样？
不好。
是吗？
老了。
我看你精神还是蛮好的。
Grandma Wu Zhilan was identified in March 2019 by Yueyang's local volunteers as a suspected victim of biological warfare. The birth date on her ID is not exact, but based on her own recollections and her family's estimations, she was injured around 1942. At that time, the Chinese People's War of Resistance against Japanese aggression had reached a stalemate, and the second and then third battles of Changsha were taking place in Hunan. According to the Chronicle of Major Events in Yueyang, 1840 to 1949, on February the 28th, KMT military leader Bai Chongxi reported to the Ministry of War. On January the 12th, during the Battle of Xinqiang, the Japanese attacked us with poison gas, and our gas casualties exceeded 40%.
小时候看见那个日本那个飞机，他经常到我们家农村里经常是那，你们不知道吧？我们上汉干过，他那个豆子黑生过，他把那个红布夹到餐衣给放那个的，他马上飞机就来的，就丢个炸弹。那个炸弹的人，他也去之前，我们妈妈她是护理，她给我们的那个的，她爸爸那个人自己搞爆炸就没人带我的，我们也跟着他的去看，就碰到这个人，我讲就哭，就哭干40天。就我的妈妈就给打进去的太阳，打进我去了晒太阳，看见我摸那个表，摸啊，我的妈妈说快干的，就打进我就，他没看我眼睛看，他说好，眼睛不行的。
除了眼睛之外， 身体有没有别的地方也疼，或者感觉受到了影响？然后
还烂的，这里还烂的是，这里
还有一个疤，
这里还有能看见。
这里还烂的是。
The nursing alliance Grandma Wu mentioned belonged to the combat hospital where her mother Huang Ailian worked. According to local researchers, in September and October of 1939, the First Battle of Changsha began, and Mount Piaofeng in Miluo was the main battlefield. After the battle, the Nationalist Army's 95th Division retreated to Huajiang Village, Shaanxi County, at the foot of Mount Piaofeng. They requisitioned the eastern wing of the Chen family manor as a combat hospital to rescue the wounded from the Xinjiang front line. And it was Huajiang Village where Grandma Wu and her family lived. Speaking of this, her younger sister, Wu Weixian, who was even smaller back then, still remembers those days vividly.
姐姐是有没有跟你怎么分享她当时是怎么疼的，或者是什么样的一个感受？
我跟姐姐的关系呢，就是4小2岁嘛，跟她就是睡在一起，她不是老是哭嘛，我妈妈就没有办法，反正就是起来，就是那时候就没有药，因为什么的，就是熬一点那个茶叶水嘛，不是就给她洗，一个是茶叶水，一个是那个淘米水，他们老干子讲，这个茶叶水是祛痘的嘛。洗一洗它也哭嘛，你看那个眼珠子都没有了，那也是疼得很厉害的。那时候也只20多岁嘛。
妈妈也年轻。
她也年轻嘛，还不知道什么。
When Grandma Wu was injured, 2 of the 3 kids playing together with her died on the spot. After losing her eyesight, Grandma Wu grew up and lived with her mother. As the eldest child, she worked the fields, did household chores, and over several decades helped raise 9 younger siblings. Because her mother worried about her deeply and couldn't bear to let her leave, Grandma Wu stayed by her mother's side for a long time and didn't marry until she was 45. Later, having no child of their own, she and her husband adopted a daughter, Miss Xu, who has lived with them ever since she was adopted at 8 or 9 months old. Miss Xu is now 39 years old, but to this day, they have never been apart.
你是多大才知道你是被吴奶奶收养了
？16、17岁的样子，我才知道我是被领养的。因为我小时候还是能够听得到别人跟我讲，我是领养的。但是我早就有心理准备了，是吧？但是我从来没有认为那个。我从来没有认为领养跟就是亲生的有什么区别，我没有那种想法。
毕竟吴奶奶是失明的，她看不见的，她有没有影响？她是怎么照顾你？
反正就是跟着她屁股后面嘛，她因为她要养猪啦，喂鸡啦，做饭啦，就是反正我就待在家里面跟着她后面跑嘛。比如说她杂草的时候，我也跟着在他旁边。我这个小拇指就是不小心被他砸断的。他在那里杂草，我就爬在旁边去了嘛，他就看不见嘛，看不见所以把这个小指头就当做草就砸了一小截。之前因为考驾照他要搞体检嘛，我才考虑的这个手指有点障碍。其实我想都没想过这个事。在我10岁那年，他自己动手术切除肿瘤嘛，隔1年，我父亲有胃穿孔，做手术。我父亲是4月份做的手术，就是刚好快到5一劳动节了。就是到了5一劳动节了，前一天晚上我突然发了阑尾炎，就痛了一晚上。到了早上起来的时候，我眼睛看什么都看不清，就是一片白。那时候也不知道什么问题，我母亲就找到邻居家，带我去镇上医院检查。因为我爸爸也还没出院，我又准备手术。那时候我觉得我母亲也挺坚强的。毕竟她自己看不见，还要到处去求人，找别人帮忙，她能挺过来，是挺不容易的。
In the early 1940s, countless ordinary people in岳阳suffered from Japanese poison gas attacks like Grandma Wu. Yet the hardships they endured throughout their lives as a result of this revealed to me that these two simple words, biological warfare, are in fact only the tip of the iceberg. All 3 elderly people I visited these days suffered eye injuries during the war. Their eyeballs were completely eroded, leaving them in darkness for nearly their entire lives. Yet they all lived to a ripe old age, leading tough and peaceful lives with unyielding resilience.
非常感谢，非常感谢我奶奶。
下辈子再康熙。
太不容易了。
太可怜了。
受到细菌战的伤害之前，日本人来之前，奶奶的家庭在岳阳都是过什么样的一个生活？
哦，好，我这小孩，我们呢去6岁、7岁、8岁的时间，那这个我们喜欢站在外面呢，站在外面呢，这是小孩子捂着脑壳。怎么得，月亮就在顶上了。我说月亮走了，我也走。往后面等。